Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 11th episode of Hidden Layers Diversity in Design. Today, I have the honor to talk with Wumi. Wumi, please introduce yourself, tell us what you do, and where you're from.
What up, people? Yeah, I'm Wumi, also known as Wumzum. I am an illustrator, graffiti artist, muralist, skater, shaker legger, all of the things. Based in London, London born and bred. And I've been doing this for a freaking, man, I want to say all my life, but professionally about 15
Yeah.
years. Yeah.
Okay. You can be an artist for your whole life, you're still an artist, man. And seriously, guys, for who doesn't know Wumi, he does really a lot of things. He also do a lot of events. Please give him a follow. And Wumi, could I ask you, how did your journey start as an artist? Is it something that you have always done since you're a kid, or do you discover it step by step in your life?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been an artist. I remember the day that I said to myself I wanted to be an artist. I was
Uh-huh.
like, I must have been about, I must have been about 9, and I went to one of
Uh-huh.
my auntie's house, and I saw a painting on the wall. It was like of an African kind of savannah with women holding up, stuff on their heads, and I was just
Uh-huh.
like, I can do that. But what? And you mean I can make money from doing that? Yeah, I'll do that. That's I'm here for it. And it just started
Yeah.
from there, to be honest. I've always been into drawing, always been into wanting to create the things I want to see in the world.
Uh-huh.
And when I was a kid, I was big into video games, computer games, Nintendo, anime, all of that
Uh-huh.
sort of stuff. So it's just like as soon as I realized I could make that stuff, I was like, yeah, I'm
Uh-huh.
gonna do this. This is what I'm gonna be about. Yeah.
It kind of actually lets you believe that you can do even better than them sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah,
Because I feel like
definitely.
when you don't have the skill, yeah, you don't know where to start. But when you start recreating stuff, you start seeing the potential of what you could be doing next.
Yeah, definitely. And like I always
As
felt like there was things there that people made that I could do a better version of or something like that. I was always like that, little competitive kid.
Mhm. Yeah, okay. Are you very, very competitive or just competitive?
Just the right amount of competitiveness.
The
The right
right
amount of
amount. Okay.
competitiveness. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I find it
I like it
interesting
when
because.
we work together.
Yeah, because I feel like I work very good under pressure, but
Mm.
I don't really care about who wins. I care more about have you done the best you can within that time or that frame of mind. Is
Mm.
it the same for you?
Yeah, I think for me, it's like a little bit of competitiveness makes me think, oh, I need to do better.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah.
necessarily about, oh, I need to be better than him. It's more of, oh,
Oh,
they're doing that.
exactly.
Nah, I gotta come correct. It's
No,
that
no,
kind of
that's fair. That's
competitiveness,
fair. That's fair. And I've always wanted to say, like, for people that don't know your work, like, whenever I watch your work, I always see this beautiful fusion of there's a sort of African culture always incorporate into it. There's always this kind of like, actually, by the way, shout out your comic, please, because I just went to your event. I took your comic. Please shout it out for the people that don't know online. Please
This is
tell
it.
us what it is
This is
actually
it.
and the story, please.
So yeah, this is Quad Squad comics. This is the pilot episode actually, but I've always wanted to work on comics and computer games and stuff like that. And this last year I was able to release, like, to design, write, draw, release this comic called Quad Squad. And it's
Uh-huh.
basically uh sort of like a story about gentrification using skaters as sort of like the storytellers in the backdrop. They're always being moved and pushed from space to and fro. It's kind of based around a pseudo version of London because,
Uh-huh.
I grew up in East London. So
Uh-huh.
so many things change in East London. And I'm a skater as well. And like
Yeah.
we're always getting moved left, right, center. So it's kind
Uh,
of over the years I make work that kind of tries to talk about gentrification,
yeah.
and locals being moved around. And this comic was like
Yeah.
basically. to launch
Yeah,
that kind of
it's
thing.
very interesting because with gentrification, I think like a lot of time people are killing the culture by moving people around like that. Even like I'm
Yeah.
from South London, but Brixton is changing, Stockwell is changing, but the atmosphere and the community that once was there and living there brought a
Mm,
vibe, brought music, brought their soul there. So it's beautiful that you're actually doing this. Anyway, going back to the art, I wanted to say that the work that you do sometimes. You can see a lot of Afro influence, but it also
mm,
gives you this kind of feel of like a samurai, black samurai kind of feel. And
mhm,
I wanted to know, where do you get your inspiration from? Is it something that have always fascinated you, like mangas, anime, and maybe Japan? Because I
mm.
know you went to Japan as well lately.
Yeah. It's all of those things. I mean, I grew up watching cartoons, and like, I loved X-Men and I loved Marvel and all of that sort of stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
I remember anime always having an effect on me even before I knew it was anime, you know? I remember watching Nausicaa, Valley of the Wind, as a kid, not even knowing what Studio Ghibli was, who Miyazaki was, and thinking, right, this is a bit different. There's something about this that just
Mm-hmm.
hits a bit differently. And then when I was about 15, a friend of mine introduced me to Ghost in the Shell, into Naruto, into Bleach, all of that sort of stuff. And I just, from there, was like, yeah, I'm about this stuff. And I would say it's funny because I think as a young illustrator, um, I spent a lot of time studying sort of anime and Nintendo. Like I love Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up playing Nintendo. I had every Nintendo console. Um, and so I used to just study the drawings and like gaming magazines and stuff like that. And that's kind of where a lot of my skills and stuff sort of developed. But in
Mm-hmm.
terms of the fusion, let's say I was about 16, 17, 18, 17, 18, where I started to notice that my work was looking so much like manga.
Mm.
But I'm not Japanese, you know what I mean? And I
Exactly.
don't look like the characters in these things. So, around I think I was 18
Mm-hmm.
when I went back to Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
I was either 18 or 19, or I went back to Nigeria, and that trip kind of just gave me this reinforced sense of identity and self, where I kind of went back and was like, all right, how do I now, you know, take find my own identity in this
Mm-hmm.
work that I make? And one of my
Yeah.
favorite animes is an anime called Samurai Champloo. Anyone who knows me knows Samurai Champloo is my ish right there. And the whole thing with Samurai Champloo is that it is a mix, it's a blend. Champloo means to mix in Kinawa. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and it takes like these themes of hip hop and then these themes of Japanese culture, blends them together to
Blend
create
it all
something new.
together.
Yeah, and that's been my ethos in terms of the work that
Sorry,
I have.
sorry, my
I have.
ignorance. Is it similar to how the Wu-Tang Clan, Wu-Tang Clan, like they have their own
Yeah,
comics? Is it something
yeah.
similar to that?
So Afro Samurai, right,
Mm-hmm.
was the Wu-Tang sort of collaboration,
Yeah.
with Samuel Jackson and all that. Kind of funny enough, they kind of came out around the same time. Uh,
Okay.
Samurai Champloo was by Watanabe, Shinichiro Watanabe, and he did Cowboy Bebop, and he
Mm-hmm.
did the recent one, what's it called? Lazarus, that just come out, Space Dandy. But yeah, Champloo is like an episodic sort of 26 episodes. I watched it when I was like
Mm-hmm.
15, right?
Wow.
And it had an effect on me. The music as well. That's another thing that Samurai Champloo does so well. It blends the music. This whole lo-fi
Mm-hmm.
hip hop thing that everybody yaps on about these days, big
Okay,
part
comes
of it
from there.
comes from that. Yeah. So
Interesting.
um like yeah, it was I literally remember being 15, 16, 17, and like that show, like impacting even my taste in hip hop, even my
Mm-hmm.
taste in like, because there was a lot of gangster rap around that time. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about gangster rap, hip hop. I'm not sure about it. And then like, because of Samurai Champloo, it reintroduced me to a whole different side of hip hop, the far sides, the freaking the Pete Rocks, the
Yeah.
producer side of things. And that would be a
Yeah.
lot of stuff that I'd be listening to while I'd be drawing as well. So, yeah.
Yeah. Because it's true, the period was like gangster rap, but behind the scene of gangster rap, at that time, there used to be so many talented people like Talib Kweli, like storytellers, some
Yeah.
amazing, amazing, amazing artists. And listen, by
Yeah,
the
man.
way, I wanted to ask you this because I didn't ask this before. I see like you do illustrate, listen, you do too many things, yeah, but I see that
Hey,
you are moving into the 3D space because I see
yeah.
some 3D characters. Is that something that what is happening with 3D? Is that something that you want to introduce? Do you want to do your toys collection, or you just want to learn it for the sake of, you know, doing something different, evolving as an artist, I
Uh,
would say.
I have always wanted to make games. I've always wanted to make
Nice.
games. Like I said, my background is Nintendo, so
Yeah.
there's always been a heart for the things that I draw. I always imagine them moving. I always imagine them being
Yeah.
part of a game series and stuff like that. So the game industry is very tough, very difficult to get into. I've
Mm-hmm.
been illustrating for years. I haven't exactly even known the way in, you know.
Okay.
So it's, I guess, I in my mind, I've got this thought that I just need to become undeniable. If they won't accept me, I'll make it myself. It's that kind of,
Yeah.
and even with all the Quad Squad stuff, this stuff is
You
gonna
should.
be a game. I'm gonna turn it
You
into a
should,
game.
yeah, I wanted to say like the fact that you have this thing for Nintendo gives you like the experience, but also the knowledge of how a proper game works itself, you
Mm,
know? Then don't worry about the graphic, the design, how good it looks and everything. But I think, ha- do you surround yourself by people that like that kind of stuff as well? Like in terms of like, I think like to create a game, it could be also cool, like even if you don't have all the skills to
mm,
get with someone that know the
mm,
coding side of it, of how
mm.
something reacts, or you know, you don't need always to be the one knowing everything by yourself. It will be
Everything.
amazing, obviously, but it's very difficult that you find somebody that does A to Z in one shot,
Yeah,
especially
yeah. I
if you
mean,
don't come from that world of system, you know.
yeah. I mean, I guess that's where the whole collective mindset comes into play. Like I've always been a part of collectives. I've always started collectives, and Mark Makers is a collective.
Hmm.
And, I think, yeah, games. I hold it quite close to my heart. So it's like this side project that I eventually want to become the main project. Um,
Hmm.
it's almost like I want to get the core elements down and then start
Yeah,
bringing the right people into the project
fair
at
enough.
different times. Um, but yeah,
Hmm.
like also trying to work on the portfolio. Um,
Yeah,
when I was in uni, the games courses weren't so good. It's when I left uni
yeah.
that's when they started getting better, and I said I'm not spending
Hmm.
9 grand a year to go back to uni. um, but but yeah, the 3D, and even just like how I got into 3D. I got awarded Arts Council funding for developing your own practice, and I had
Wow,
previously
nice,
done a an exhibition, sort of like immersive exhibition, with my
nice.
studios. This is like 2021, 2022. And after doing that exhibition, that immersive exhibition, I just thought this needs to become virtual. This needs to become a
Hmm.
3D experience. And I won the Arts Council funding, and they gave me the money to start developing my practice in 3D. So yeah, that's kind of
Hmm.
how all of that came about. Yeah.
When you actually said that immersive reality and stuff like that, I remember there used to be a place like Electric Theater or something like this in Waterloo Station that you can actually walk
Mm-hmm.
into like a dimension with a sensor and
Yeah.
play with the elements, but it wasn't really. It's actually interesting because it's not really a commander, but because you have the sensor, you are able to move the element. And the game was built on that kind of movement with the sensor rather than coding for action, if it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be also
Mm-hmm.
an interesting way to see. I'm very
Hey,
excited, man. I can't wait. If you put it out, I want to be in the list. Yeah.
mate, I'm here for it. Like literally, like from all the stuff. like I've had quite an expansive history of doing different things in London.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always, what I love about gaming is the interactivity of it. It's like taking art and then making it interactive so people can really be a part of it. And you can tell stories in a different way. One of my favorite games, it's not even Nintendo, it's on the PlayStation. It's called Journey. And
Mm-hmm.
it's on, I've got the art book up there somewhere. Um, it's called Journey, and it's basically the story of a nomad. And like you have to get to the top of a mountain on a PlayStation. And why I love this game so much is that every one of my friends who used to come to my house to play that game, especially the ones who aren't gamers, would finish it in one go because it was so like interactive and so
Mm-hmm.
empathetic. Like you could empathize with it really well. And I
With
think
it.
gaming has the ability to do that, to make people
Mm-hmm.
feel because they're a part of the process of it. And I guess I think about my experience as a Londoner, as an artist in the city, seeing its changes. I've always wanted to kind of create those kind of experiences which have people feel
Mm-hmm.
all the different journeys, all the different things that
Mm-hmm.
I've kind of been through and seen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, definitely possible, man. Like I think it's super interesting, especially because London changed so quickly, I guess personally, because even when I go back home in Milan like this, nothing has changed and it's almost like more than almost 20 years that I'm out of the country, but nothing really changed. Rather, London is a continuous changing city. And so sometimes maybe too fast for what I wish it to be,
hey, I
right?
get shook. I get scared of like sometimes I talk to my friends and or my peoples, and it's like we talk about leaving London and not leaving
Hmm.
London for too long, leaving London, but we're afraid that if we go and come back, we won't recognize it or we won't have a footing here. And I think um I've I feel like proper Londoner. I feel like this is my city. This is
Yeah.
my city. I feel
But
like the
yeah,
city
but
owes me.
as a foreigner,
Yeah,
I will recommend everyone from London to go out for a little bit. It's a
yeah,
weird thing. You know why? Because we come from a background where you can enjoy the minute. Yeah, you know what I mean when I say that we can enjoy the minute. Rather, I feel like here in London, the city make you race, and it's a race that never stop. And it's not only money, chasing work, getting the best out of it. It's a city that never. I mean, you ca you do two things, the day is over.
yeah,
Rather you go back Milan, the same time will feel 5 times slower. And you're like,
yeah,
what is the problem? Like, why do I feel time like that? But London is a very fast city. So sometimes I feel like Londoners need to understand what it means, take a break and put your mind in a mode of chill. Because I don't think
I hear it.
people can be chill
We don't
here,
rest.
but they're not really chill. You understand what I mean?
We don't
The
rest.
brain is always
Even
active, it's
artists,
always on top. Yeah,
I'd be
yeah,
like, the iPad is like the best invention, but it's the worst invention at the same time
it's the
because it's like
worst. Yeah,
everywhere you go, you're sitting there thinking, oh, I can make
you
this.
have
Oh, I
it.
could do I can make
But
something.
don't get me wrong, I think as an artist, yeah, uh, first of all, we're all in our own personal bubble, but if you're really somebody that love drawing like this,
Yeah,
it's almost like a OCD for everyone. I
yeah,
don't know
yeah,
no one that is a. I do illustration. I do one in the morning, one in the afternoon. As we speak, there's one
yeah,
pausing on the screen, and I'm gonna
yeah.
finish it when I finish with you. But I cannot live without it. And I think like for people that do illustration, especially, there's this thing of if you don't do an illustration a day, you feel like you wasted your time. Is that the same for you?
Hey, bro, listen. Yeah, I definitely feel like that. I've kind of trained myself out of it because sometimes you need to live. Yeah, sometimes you need to live so that you can make a good art, so that you can absorb and then and do stuff.
Yeah,
But
it's true. It's true.
there's definitely a thing where if I haven't made something, produced something in a week, I feel a kind of way. And like that's why October is like my favorite month because we do this Playtober challenge.
All
The
in.
collective gets
Hey,
together.
please, man, shout out everything you listen, guys. By the way, for who don't know Wumi, The guy organized a lot of events. He has his own collective, Mark Makers. He does event for his skating community. So please shout everything that you need to shout out. Shout it out here, please,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah. So we have a collective, Mark Makers Collective, markmakers.ldn on Instagram, and uh literally it's a bunch of collective members, all artists, illustrators. We kind of all we're all based in London. Well, there's a
Mm-hmm.
few that are outside of London, but we're primarily all met in London. We all met together in person. And I think that's a really important thing because artists don't spend enough time with
Together.
other artists because so much of what we do is like we have to be
Yeah.
alone, focusing in that. And I just
Yeah.
thought it was really important for me to get artists in the same room together. That's partly why we
Mm-hmm.
have the studio. That's why we do the live
Mm-hmm.
drawing every 2 weeks on a Tuesday. That's on a
Mm-hmm.
Thursday. Um, and it was just like musicians are forced to come together when they're making music,
Yeah.
and so much productivity comes out of that. And we're all inspired by musicians. And I just thought to myself,
Yeah.
nah, artists needs to come together as well. And we started around 2019 is when we started
Mm-hmm.
kind of coming together. Yeah, we've been going ever since. Every October we do this challenge called Playtober, which is a twist
Yeah.
on Inktober. I made a whole book, which is like 5 years worth of like pieces that I would just make, every
Mm-hmm.
single day of October. And we have like color schemes and all of that. So that's a
Mm-hmm.
that's a serious one. And then
It's super cool.
yeah, obviously I do I run a skating collective. Well I co-run a skating collective called Skate of Minds. It's a logo I designed.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Yeah, we do events every 2 weeks as well. We put on skate festivals. We take a rink to the different parts of the country. We
Mm-hmm.
provide working opportunities for people to make money and skate and all of that sort of stuff. Yeah, and I'm basically the creative director for that. It's been going for
Nice.
3 years now. Yeah, man,
Amazing, bro.
I'm doing a lot. I'm doing a lot, man.
No, no, but listen, listen, but at least you're trying to do everything that you have passion for, you know? It's funny because a lot of time, like I do the podcast, I do this, I do creative events and stuff like that too. But it's worth it, man. Like it's
Uh,
tiring sometimes, but I feel like I don't know how to say it. Being successful, being rich, and all that stuff, yeah, it's cool and everything, but there's no real purpose behind only
uh,
making money, if it makes sense. Rather, when you have a collective, you know what I love, especially of what you're doing with Mark Makers. Last year, I've
uh,
done 100 collaboration with 100 different artists. Obviously, not face to face, but we talk online. I work on their work. We do something together, and let's see what comes out. I've done 100 collaborations. The beauty of working together with somebody different to you means you're learning from the person. You make a how do you call it, you make a mistake, but that mistake could be that thing like, wow, looks so
yeah,
cool,
happy
just
accidents.
because you never thought it. Exactly. And then having people in the room that are so different to you, they will always tell you or point out the thing you never thought out. And
Yeah,
that's the beauty. But the beautiful thing, if it happens online, I can only imagine what happened in Mark Makers face to
real
face with the
person. Yeah.
people.
So
And
we have
that's
we
cool.
have we have this exercise that we do when we do the life drawing because we try and do life drawing a little bit differently, rather than it just being
Okay.
like this kind of quiet drawing, rare, rare, rare. I have music,
Hmm.
I have people
Hmm.
talking, and we do this one exercise where we get people to draw for 5 minutes, and then we swap them so that people have to take
In
over each
between the
other's canvases.
people
Yeah,
joining.
and
Amazing. Nice, nice. Love that.
what's so cool about it is that you are looking at how the other person saw this person, and then you're now having to complete their drawing, and it's so cool
Yeah.
because you get all sorts of different effects. And like people who are learning to draw, when they get somebody else's piece, they can start seeing how the other person processed. And people who
Yeah,
are
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
really good at drawing and might have somebody's work that is like they're not as experienced. It's like they think actively about how they can improve it.
Yeah,
And when
yeah,
you get your
yeah.
drawing back, it's like, oh, that's how people think. So that whole
It's
IRL,
beautiful, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
it's a
It's
win-win for
important.
everyone at the end of the day. That's what I love. Because exactly that is forcing yourself to think out of your comfort zone. I think is a beautiful thing of doing that, especially for young artists. Because young artists, I feel like a lot of young people now they think there's only one way of saying something. Like the traditional way, just because they're in the starting point, and maybe they don't have their own personal style. But by doing something like this, you're actually showing them that you don't need to be like others to do something. Anything works for them,
Mm,
So
mm.
that's a good thing. And if
I,
I can ask you, like, well, so go for it, bro. Sorry.
now, I was gonna say I kind of have a heart for younger artists as well because I think to myself, growing up, I didn't have too many mentors, or at least there were mentors there, but I
Yeah,
didn't notice that they were able to be mentors to me.
yeah,
Um, and like when starting Mark Makers and working on it and creating these events where people come together, I always thought to myself, I want to be that person for the younger
uh-huh,
artists who might not feel like they don't have somebody to kind of look to for advice and
uh-huh.
guidance, and just ask them the right kind of questions to help them navigate. Because it's not another
Okay.
reason why we started Mark Makers is because navigating the creative industry, knowing how to figure out what you're doing, thinking about how the heck you're going to make money,
Yeah, it's
how well
crazy,
to
man.
collaborate with people. I didn't get none of that, so it was like,
Can
how can
I
we
can,
do
can
this?
I
How
ask
can we learn?
you? Can I actually ask you something? I didn't want it to go there, but I feel like when it comes to Black community in general,
Mm,
there's not enough knowledge. I don't want to talk about exactly racism and all this stuff right now, but I just
mm,
wanted to
mm.
say, like, I feel like within Black community, there's not a lot of information or enough platform actually to inform yourself in this kind of
Yeah,
things. Because a lot of big events
yeah.
that I go, I do some events like that, but a lot of time you don't have. Yeah, there will be that one or two, but because they have big numbers or like they are doing very well in social media, so it's good presence. But then when it comes to the rest, there's so many amazing people, but they never had even the chance to do that one step up.
Mm.
So um, if I can ask you actually, because you organize events like this, what do you think is something that needs to be offered more for the youth in within the design? What do you think is missing?
Um, really, to answer that question, I think about myself. It is, I do think it is that mentorship thing. It's like
Mm-hmm.
seeing more people like you who are doing things, but then
Yeah.
also those people creating opportunities for
Mm-hmm.
younger artists, younger Black creatives to become a part of it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
like, I- you know, listen, we live in this. I live in the UK. The UK
Yeah.
is white. Like the truth of the
Yeah.
matter
Yeah.
is, in
Yeah.
London, I'm in a bit of a bubble, but this is UK. This is England. Of
Mm-hmm.
course, I'm a minority. Um, and um, and I guess they have their history and they have their background and their creative industries and all of that sort of stuff. They've known that. A lot of us come from immigrant backgrounds, right? And
Mm-hmm.
immigrant backgrounds, not exactly like, our parents were just trying to assimilate, just trying to figure it out, just trying to get into
Yeah.
stability. We're now
Mm-hmm.
the newer cats trying to figure out, okay, cool, we're in this life, we have cultural capital, but how do we now
Mm-hmm.
um leverage that so that we can be a part of
Leverage
the
shots. Yeah.
industry proper, you know um
Mm-hmm.
we're figuring it out. Honestly,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's an
Yeah.
ongoing process of figuring it out. Like, and I don't think it's just social media that we have to go through. I think we do have to meet and create together
Yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
um share knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's
Mm-hmm.
our job, this generation's job, to be doing that
But
in a
but
real way.
like it's funny because I believe exactly what you're doing. I'm doing the same with the youth. Like I like to teach and everything, but I feel like sometimes it's also a part of. Listen, we are one person at the end of the day, and the realistic thing is like you can do things, you can inspire people, but sometimes I feel like is not enough. And I feel like it's
Mm,
true. Every little person make their own change. That's all we can do. Yeah. But then when it comes maybe like having like a partnership with different companies or maybe having
yeah.
a sponsor, that's where I see where the change can actually, even just giving application for free to schools or have a place
Mm,
where, go and train yourself there. I don't know, this kind of thing for me, they're very small things for big corporation. And I think those kind of things need to change. Almost like there should be like an investment within second generation
mm,
school or minority, but not just because we are not English or something like that, but we are the client of your future as well, So it's a win-win for
mm,
everyone. In reality, they're not
mm,
losing nothing, but asylum seekers can benefit from programs like this. You understand what I mean?
mm,
So instead of
yeah.
staying there, not doing anything or not knowing what to do, they can have a place where they can actually have education within design and then use those skills to actually get out of their situation and have even a good living if they become good in what they do. So there are
Mm,
always, I feel like mentoring is one thing, and seeing somebody looking like you doing that is super
mm,
important. That's true. But then after that, there needs to be something that kinds of amplify that scope and make you stronger, because let's be honest,
yeah.
as you said, you're working on your portfolio, you're working on the skate, you're working this, you're working that, and sometimes it becomes also like you're working for everyone, but then in your little self, yeah, you're not doing anything for yourself, and sometimes that can cause you. Tell me if I'm wrong, huh? It can cause you almost like you're struggling in the main time, but you're a humble
Mm,
person. You still want to do that, and I think that is the problem. If you find a sponsorship or businesses that will really be interested in the future of the
mm,
youth, that could make a massive difference in terms of you can have a bigger space, you can have more students coming there, you can have the program for free for all the students coming in,
mm,
and then
mm.
you can start, I don't know how to say
Are
it,
you,
it's
are you
weird,
talking
but
about
it's a
structural? Are you talking about structural things? Are you talking about like how, within companies, it's almost like we only get so far, right? And then
yeah.
if the structural thing isn't sort of affected or changed, then nothing's really gonna change. Is that how you
Yeah,
feel?
sometimes, yeah, man. Sometimes, yeah, because you know what is the thing? I feel like um, I've reached where I want to be in my career in terms of like I found my style. I've worked for great clients. I've done all this stuff, but then now I'm coming into this phase of helping others, and the more I look at others, there is a gap, an incredible
Mm,
gap between.
mm,
Foreigners, it doesn't matter because you are still born in England. So that you're black, you're brown, or whatever, you're still from here. How can you not have the same power to do what you want?
yeah,
Listen, and
yeah,
then racism is
yeah,
a thing and everything, but I don't want to
yeah,
go in that bubble at the moment.
yeah.
But I feel like, how can it be so unequal? You're
Mm,
not,
mm,
we are different from color, but take this away, bro. You're bone, flesh, and we're all
yeah,
people first. You understand what I
yeah,
mean? That's why
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
understand how come there's too much inequality in it. I will say even just in London. I wouldn't even go as far as saying UK. You understand what I mean? Because if you
yeah.
look at the city where there's a lot of work, it's always
Mm,
London, Birmingham,
yeah.
Cardiff, those big cities, you know?
Mm, it's fam. It's it's a hard one. I'm still processing it. I'm still trying to figure it out myself. I think
Hmm.
um outside of all the racism, I like it's even here. I don't want to say that it's that. I think a big part of it is it's us having relevant information, us being given
Hmm.
certain chances and even chances to fail, even
Yeah,
opportunities to fail. Us having us seeing each other as well.
yeah,
Not being in a crabs in a bucket mindset, not being in a space where if he gets it, I can't get it. Us
yeah, yeah, yeah.
celebrating us all together. I guess the reason why I talk about the mentorship thing as well, though, is that from when I look back at my career and
Mm-hmm.
opportunities I've missed, a lot of it is because there were mentors there that I didn't realize were mentors.
Mm-hmm.
There were people and
Yeah.
opportunities there that I had that maybe because I was so focused on, oh, they need to look like me, or I was so
Yeah.
focused
Yeah.
on it
Yeah.
needs to be done in a particular kind of way, I missed
Mm-hmm.
opportunities which would have put me in the spaces, right,
Yeah.
to be able to have the structural change that I would
Mm-hmm.
have liked. And I think it's for me, it's things like that that I kind of miss. I feel like that whole separation
Mm-hmm.
mindset has affected us, um, sort of on a
No,
wider
it's
scale.
it's
Yeah,
very interesting
hard to
what you're
say.
saying. Can I be honest with you? I think it's very interesting. I think even the fact of I've grown in Italy like most of my
Mm,
teenage time, you know. So for
yeah,
me, the when I came to London, man, the hunger I had of becoming who I wanted to be was
yeah,
crazy. When I say crazy, it's because I've knocked at every door. I did so much work. I did so much. I worked for this company, I've never been treated right in Italy. And when I left
mm,
Italy, I described Italy like a dog collar that became so tight on my neck that when I came to London, I started all over again, even if I had experience in the past already. And I went
yeah,
to uni after 8 years not studying. I did like
yeah,
a foundation degree. I
yeah,
absorb everything. I work and I just run. That's why I know that this city can allow you to become who you want to be, but there are certain things that are in place that if I wasn't in London, I will understand why it's like this.
yeah,
But London is really like trust me if I say it. It's like I feel like there's so much opportunity, but the problem is few, okay, few people of our community will
mm,
even know this opportunity are laid
yeah,
down in front
yeah,
of them
yeah,
automatically.
yeah,
Then when I
yeah,
see
yeah,
other
yeah,
groups of people, I feel like it's thrown in their face, like, oh my God, I just did. And you're like, wow.
yeah,
But then you look at where's the talent, where's the hard work, where's this, and this makes me reflect. It doesn't make me angry because I never blame the person who got the job. You was just in the right place at the right time in that
yeah,
moment. That's you, but it needs to be everywhere. There's like this
yeah,
little discrepancies of.
yeah,
Why doesn't it work in that specific community?
yeah,
You know what I mean? Because if you
yeah,
give that opportunity there, maybe one guy is not interested. The second one, I will do it. Then he doesn't do it. But you will always find that guy that will be on point, and I will go till the end because I believe in it. Because
yeah.
people are hungry, man, like to get where they want to be. So.
No, definitely. And I think, you know, I'm like, if the opportunity isn't given, I have
Uh-huh.
to make it myself. I
Yeah,
have to
yeah, yeah.
create it myself, and
Facts,
then that becomes
facts,
a whole
facts.
thing in and of itself.
But it's even a challenge to yourself, because in
Hmm.
reality, what you're doing is you showing to the world that you don't need to count on nobody to do what you really want to do. You can literally wake up and just do what you want to do. I think the best thing that you do comes out from you deciding yourself to do it yourself.
To do it
Because once
yourself.
you put it in your mind, nobody can stop you and nobody can make excuses for you. So
Yeah,
it's
nobody, yeah. Full on
nobody makes
accountability.
sense. You understand what I mean? And sometimes the best thing happen by yourself. Because even me, like when people start noticing me, is because and I never like to call agency and be like, oh my God, I see your work was so amazing. I would love to work. I've never been that kind of person. So I focus on, let me find a style. Let me work so
Mm.
much on the style. And then when the style became so loud, then people was like, oh my God, who is this
Yo,
guy? Who is this? Who is
that's
that?
you
And it
becoming
started.
undeniable.
You understand what I mean? But
Yeah.
if I had to listen, everybody pushing me in a different direction,
Mm.
I guarantee you I wouldn't be here today because that's the funny thing. The information that we have and the knowledge that we have sometimes is not given from the right people to us. And that's why I said the fact of being a mentor is very important because it's not only because you look like them, but you know how it feels to be them.
Yes.
You
Yes.
know what I mean?
Yes.
because you have been them so many times that now giving them that answer, that honest answer, will really help them, not just
Yeah.
be there for 2 minutes and go away. It will sit on your mind, you know. You see, even the podcast, I met your guy once, but when the play thing happened, I came and showed support. Obviously, I didn't spend all my money on everything, but it's important to invest in somebody's dream, even if it's little, you
Yeah.
know. It's I don't know, show up, do something great, but that mindset keep people believing in themselves
Yeah.
even more, you know, like, and strengths make power. So,
And
oh
even your
yeah, man,
mistakes,
listen,
even areas,
yes,
even I think about my mistakes, or I think about things I could have done differently, and like how that can be wisdom onto the next generation, you know, or to the next artist.
I think it's the biggest wisdom that you have, you
Yeah.
know, your mistakes. Because people, from when I did this podcast, one thing that always come out is like people always talk about their success, but not enough people talk about of their failures. And failures is actually what bring us all here today, because you wouldn't be this person if you didn't fail in something. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Fail
So,
faster, even, you know, like getting better at
mhm,
drawing. A big part of that is failing, like understanding this didn't work, that doesn't work, or
yeah,
this could be done differently, you know. Um, but
yeah,
yeah, it's a whole process. It's a whole process when it
hmm,
comes to knowing how to share. Like we sharing more, obviously, and I don't mean just in the social media sharing everything. I mean actually, yo,
yeah,
this is
yeah.
what I'm doing in my life. This is what I'm. The comic was like literally me. I'm so excited because there's other members of the collective who are thinking about doing their own comics and their own projects, and I'm so excited to just be like, guys, do this,
I
don't
did
do
it.
this, Rare,
Do
put
it.
this out.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, and again, that being around each other, seeing that it's possible. You know,
hmm,
I did my art book because Kieran done his art book, right? And then I
yeah.
did my art book, and now Kieran's done
It's
another art book.
contagious.
You know what I'm
But
saying?
it's
Yeah,
contagious. No, but you see what is the thing? That's why I asked you at the very beginning of competition. You,
yeah,
you remember? Like
yeah,
there,
yeah.
sometimes I feel in this industry there's this genuine competition, and then there's this not genuine competition.
Mm,
Because a lot of
mm,
people I've noticed they're not happy for your success, and sometimes a lot of people that are super close are not always happy. But the real people behind you, they
mm.
will always push for your greatness, you know. So
Mm,
it's
mm.
it's very interesting. Anyway,
Yeah,
Wumi, sorry I went too passionate in this one at the end,
yeah,
but
it's so
listen,
good,
it's
man.
something that I would love
There's
to
so much
change. But
more we
anyway,
could. There's so
yeah,
much more we could even go into, to be honest. But yeah, this is.
yeah, we will
You
do
know,
a
we're
next one
touching on
another
important
time.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, actually, you know what we can do next time? I might make just like one full episode, but in one of your event in Mark Makers, and just put it
that'd be
online.
dope.
Maybe we have like a half an hour with all the artists just talking about the experience, and we can do something from there, even if it's 1 hour or whatever. We do like a special episode focus on
Yeah,
that
a
as
little
well.
panel.
Yeah, that'll be sick,
Definitely.
actually.
And I love that you're doing
Let's
this
keep it.
because it's showing people, it's actually getting their conversations out.
Yeah,
And
yeah, it's very
you know,
important.
it'll build from there, man.
Yeah, please, man, let's make it happen. Seriously, I will come with cameras and stuff, and let's see if we
Mhm.
can make something happen nice. Can be like a full-blown discussion with all the team and see what we can do from
Yeah,
there. Yeah.
yeah,
And for the
yeah.
people
No.
at home that are looking, please go and follow Wumi. Now we said a lot of things, maybe a lot to carry on on one little episode, but please follow his art, follow him as a person. He's doing amazing things, and see you on the next one.